Hear the roar.
Hi people and hello my Chilligan Carnage crew, it's Chilly here, the man who produces Design from My Eyes, doing a 5-minute review on Opeth's newest album, The Last Will and Testament. You know it's a good day when Opeth release a new album, but you know it's a great day when Opeth bring back those roars on their new album as well. It's an even better day as Opeth fans can rejoice as well, as Opeth has also called it quits, as that has been the bane of their search engine requests for years now, so more reasons to rejoice. But for now, let's go back to this album, and yes, you have heard right when I said that the death growls that have been absent for some 17 years now have returned on this record, the band's 14th album. And I gotta say, I didn't mind the clean vocal sections to be honest, and the lighter section of this band in the last few years, but it has been a welcomed return. In fact, for the record, I thought Heritage was a great album, but if you are a fan of course of their earlier and heavier works, then this album is going to be right up your alley, and a fine return to form of course. So let's take a look. It's certainly an interesting aspect to record an album with the concept being that their last will and testament, but it doesn't feel out of place for the band given their history. Of course, when you look over the tracks' names written as paragraphs 1 through 7, it certainly seems very odd, but at last this album does merit its reasons for such a style, and that's because this is indeed a concept record. Right from the first track and first single off the album, paragraph 1, we are met with those infamous mellotrons the bands have applied throughout their history and made their own signature sound with, and it's all rather haunting and beautiful at the same time. This tune produces an odd waver with its instruments on the first half of the track and can easily fill anyone with a sense of uneasiness and dread. Its presence is foreboding and unnerving, which perfectly sets us up for the rest of this album and its runtime. All the while, of course, we are met with brutal vocals and downright heavy guitar playing, of course. This was one hell of a single to pick from this record to showcase what the band were doing and of course to show that they were back. What is very intriguing about this record is the number of influences that are blended into this album, in particular with tracks like paragraph 6 sounding akin to a Deep Purple track with that opener organ section and powerful drumming launching us into the song. Kind of feels like something from the Burn era. While on the track, for example, paragraph 4, we have a Jethro Tull sounding section as the wind instruments kick in for the midway point of that tune. Also, the song paragraph 5 calls back to their more soft that was seen on their last few releases, and yet it toes this line between being a gentle piece and harkening back to their earlier sound, with an absolute guttural vocal section when it goes into that heavier part. Now, I might be making a hasty comment, but maybe long-term fans would agree with me for making the following statement, but this is a fine return to form that harkens back to their older sound, but yet it manages to retain some of their newer elements in their near-perfect combination between these two styles and eras of the band. Mark my words, fans will be flocking to this album, and for good reason too, because this is one hell of a record the band have produced. The songs on hand here never feel dull for a moment, and there is never any section that I just wanted to skip. It's amazing to hear these tracks from start to finish throughout its runtime, and of course it does have a little bit of a longer period going up to the 50-minute mark, but it never overstays its welcome during this duration. It's interesting to hear paragraph 7, the song, and of course talking about the heritage within and all the heirlooms that have been given away. And of course this gives way to the final section of the album and the actual title track of the record, which contains a very beautiful and serene piece. Overall, I'm going to give this album a score of 9.5 million chilies on the spicy scale, with my favourite tracks being paragraphs 1, 5 and 6, with fine paced fury behind the drum kit, bass lines that enfold the listener, synth sections to paralyze, vocals as sinister as they come yet enchanting, and galloping guitars added to the fall for good measure. This album is to be played from start to finish, and for many good reasons. Don't be surprised if you find this album on my best albums of 2024, and of course many other music reviewers as well, and I think it'll be well deserved if they're added to that list. So tell me your thoughts about this record in the comments section below, because I'm always interested to read them. If you've enjoyed this content, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to us, and stay notified for future music related content, because it keeps our manager happy at the end of the day. We are also on Discord, Instagram, Facebook, and all those other social platforms if you want to check us out. As always, people, you have a great day and stay spicy.